They say money can buy almost everything: comfort, houses, cars, power, even respect. But there are some things it can never buy: dignity, resilience, and the brilliance of a pure heart. This story begins in a crowded, noisy diner on the edge of New York City, where the smell of burnt coffee and fried eggs hung heavy in the air. Behind the counter, a single mother named Elena worked double shifts to keep the lights on. Her daughter, Sophia, was no ordinary girl. She was quiet, bookish, and endlessly curious. At only 19, she had an intelligence and maturity far beyond her years, though life had been harsh. Every evening, after helping her mother clean tables, Sophia would sit in the corner booth with secondhand textbooks, scribbling notes under the dim yellow lights. Her dream: to be a scientist, someone who could actually change the world. But with bills piling high and college tuition out of reach, those dreams felt like smoke in the wind. One rainy night, the bell above the diner door jingled, and in walked a man who would alter their lives forever. His name was Alexander Kane, a billionaire tech CEO. Arrogant, untouchably wealthy, and notoriously cruel in his business dealings. He didn't belong in a rundown diner like this, but he had stopped on his way back from an exclusive conference. Elena served him like any other customer, but Sophia noticed his expensive suit, his diamond watch, and the way he spoke, as though every word he uttered was a command. When Alexander noticed Sophia reading a thick physics journal, he laughed. "Do you even understand that, kid?" His voice dripped with mockery. Sophia's cheeks flushed, but she calmly replied, "Yes. And I could probably explain it to you in simpler terms." The diner went quiet. Nobody had ever spoken to Alexander Kane that way. For a moment, there was silence, and then, the billionaire laughed. A booming laugh that shook the air. "You've got guts," he said, still smirking. Then, leaning forward, he added, "Tell you what. I'll make you a deal. Solve one challenge for me, a challenge that even my top employees can't figure out, and if you win, I'll give you $100 million. But if you fail, don't ever waste your time thinking you're better than your place in life." The entire diner froze. Elena's hands trembled. The number was absurd, $100 million. It sounded like a cruel joke. But Sophia looked the billionaire straight in the eyes and said, "Fine. Give me your challenge." Alexander scribbled something on a napkin. It wasn't just a riddle or puzzle. It was a complex theoretical problem tied to his company's latest AI project, something even his engineers hadn't cracked. "This," he declared, tossing the napkin toward her, "is your key to $100 million. Solve it, and I'll keep my word." Elena begged Sophia to walk away. "He's mocking you, baby. Don't play his games." But Sophia whispered back, "Mom, this isn't about the money. It's about showing him that people like us matter too." For weeks, Sophia worked tirelessly. Between shifts at the diner, she stayed up through the night, poring over borrowed books, teaching herself advanced coding, mathematics, and algorithms. She scribbled equations until her hands ached, and sometimes she cried silently into her pillow when exhaustion and doubt consumed her. Alexander checked in once, amused by her determination. "Still trying? You'll give up. Everyone does," he sneered. But he didn't know Sophia. She wasn't just working for money, she was working for her mother, for every child who had been told they were worthless, for every dream crushed under the weight of poverty. One stormy evening, with rain battering the diner windows, Sophia's eyes lit up. She had found the missing piece, the breakthrough Alexander's entire team had overlooked. It wasn't about brute force coding, it was about simplicity. A perspective shift only someone outside his arrogant bubble could have seen. She packaged her solution, trembling as she carried it to Alexander's corporate tower the next morning. Security almost turned her away until Alexander himself came down, smirking. "Well, waitress girl," he said, "let's see what you've got." When she presented her work, silence filled the room. His engineers, called in to verify, stared in disbelief. One finally whispered, she solved it. This changes everything." Alexander's jaw tightened. He hadn't expected her to succeed. But instead of honoring his promise, Alexander laughed again. A cruel, hollow laugh. "You really thought I'd hand a child $100 million. You're smart, yes. But you'll always be a waitress's daughter. That's your place." He ordered his team to escort her out, dismissing her as though she were nothing. Sophia walked away silently, but tears burned her eyes. She had proven herself, yet the man with power refused to acknowledge it. What Alexander hadn't realized was that one of his senior engineers, Drive, Marcus Hale, had been watching closely. He was tired of Alexander's arrogance and exploitation. Impressed by Sophia's brilliance, Marcus approached her in secret. "You don't need his approval," Marcus told her. "Work with me. Together, we'll build something greater than his empire. And this time, the world will know your name." Sophia hesitated. She was just a waitress's daughter, wasn't she? But then she remembered her mother's tired smile, the years of sacrifice, and the promise she had made to herself never to let poverty define her worth. She accepted. Months turned into years. Sophia, under Marcus's mentorship, launched a revolutionary startup. Her ideas, fresh, untainted by corporate greed, disrupted the industry. Investors flocked to her vision. Within 3 years, the Waitress's daughter became one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the world. Her company wasn't built on greed but on accessibility, creating affordable, life-changing technology for ordinary people. Meanwhile, Alexander Kane's empire began to crumble. The very solution he had mocked her for providing. It was now the backbone of Sophia's company, and the world turned away from him. Years later, fate brought them face to face again at a global tech summit. The once untouchable Alexander Kane had lost much of his fortune. He stood on stage, overshadowed, while Sophia, confident, graceful, and radiant, was introduced as the keynote speaker. When their eyes met, Alexander forced a smile. "Impressive. I underestimated you." Sophia stepped closer, her voice calm but firm. "No, you didn't underestimate me. You dismissed me because of where I came from. But what you don't understand is that greatness isn't born in boardrooms or mansions, it's forged in struggle, sacrifice, and determination." The audience erupted in applause. And in that moment, Alexander realized the truth. The waitress's daughter had left him behind, not just in wealth but in legacy.